Yeah, my good boy.
Back once again, Two Brothers Fishing Live. Yep, whenever it's me and Jeremy, it's Two Brothers Fishing. Whenever it's just me, it's Fishing with Gramps Live, whatever. Someday we're going to start a podcast. We're going to do it. We've already got some subjects lined up. We keep saying that, but it's still fishing season, and so we're focused on fishing. Yeah, welcome everybody back here again on a Sunday night. I've got some guests coming up down the road, but since it's a holiday week, more or less, I actually took this whole coming week off since tomorrow's a holiday. Jeremy and I are going to be joined by John Michael tomorrow, and we're going to go get on the river and chase some smallies because Jeremy and I have recently had our smallie juices flowing after getting out and having a really good couple of weeks just smacking them. You know, we really kind of, you know, played around a little bit earlier in the season, but once KBF started the summer series, Jeremy and I were like, you know what? Let's go smack some smallies. And, you know, Jeremy smallie fished a whole lot more. He'll tell you, I was only focused on the green fish when we were little. And my whole goal in life was always to catch the next bigger bass, you know. And, you know, after I left and it had enlisted and, you know, was in Germany and whatnot, Jeremy was still out fishing with my grandpa a whole lot. And, you know, he really got into a lot of the creek fishing, smallie fishing too. So, you know, none of this is new for him. But then again, that's why, you know, he had, you know, his fishing career was, you know, started kind of way earlier than I was because, you know, I was out doing other stuff and things. And then when he moved to Texas, when I had moved there after being in Germany and Atlanta, so forth and so on, Jeremy moved down to Texas when I was down there. And then he kind of got me back into fishing. And yeah, then it was on. So, I mean, I won't say he dragged me back. It's just one of those things when I enlisted and was out doing my, you know, life and things. And, you know, I just kind of got away from fishing and never thought about it, was doing the young dude thing. And Jeremy was still just fishing and never stopped fishing. And the funny thing was when he moved down to Texas, when I lived down there, but by the time I had moved from San Antonio, I think up to Dallas, is that right, Jeremy? And, you know, you came down when we were in Dallas, I think. Or did you go to San Antonio at all?
You're lagging a little bit, bro.
Oh, is it lagging?
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me the internet's going to act up again. So you got to tell me what you're hearing or not, because I don't know.
You sound good now.
Okay, there must have been, who knows. But remind me again, did you come down when we were in San Antonio or were you in Dallas? I think you came to San Antonio and then we moved to Dallas and then you kind of stayed there after we moved up there, if I remember.
Yep.
But yeah, so, you know, Jeremy, when he came down to Dallas when he came down to Texas is when he kind of drug me back into fishing. And then we kind of just been at it ever since then too. But so, you know, Jeremy had been smallie fishing a bunch, but I always just focused on the bigs, you know, the big green ones. And then I don't know, it's just like kind of this year we got to talking about it and this and that. And I was like, you know, I got all excited when we went and fished one of the river events. And then I ended up smacking that 18.5, which, you know, was my PB after my previous PB I caught. I guess the bug kind of bit me when we were down at Kentucky Lake, wasn't it? When I caught that one down there completely unexpected, I caught that 16.5 on a Hellraiser, and that thing was jumping up and down and fighting all over, and I was just losing my mind. And I think that was during practice. And then I was like, oh. And then I caught that 18 on the White River event when we were fishing grubby. And then me, you, and I think Bobby went, and we found some other places on the White River to go to. And then that's when you smacked that dang 20 and a whatever monster. And, you know, we kind of been talking about it and, you know, just this and that. And of course, when Chad puts out the KBF summer series, I told Jeremy, I said, you know what, dude, I'm done with all the other derbs and stuff. You know, I'll finish up what we have left and we're just going to let's go focus on, you know, chasing some smallies. I want to learn more about catching them because they just got me kind of fired up. And the funny thing was, I'd seen some other friends of mine posting this book from a dude up in Canada. I always say Canada, but and he goes by saydoggy.fishing on Instagram. And this is a really good, read for guys like me who just haven't fished for a ton of smallmouth. So it's a good kind of primer for beginners and all this and that. But, having Jeremy around, and you guys will see the video that you're probably waiting for, where if you'd been watching on Instagram, where I just went out and pretty much had my best day of smallmouth fishing ever. Jeremy and I just at the last minute, I said, dude, there's one more smallmouth, kind of tournament that's going to be on the river by the ponds that Jeremy fishes. I was like, I just signed up on a whim just to make myself go do it. And he's like, I'll join you. And man, the video drops tomorrow night. You guys are going to join. It's like I'd never been fishing before. I'm sitting here catching fish, just losing my mind because I can't tell too much. You're gonna have to watch the video. But it was so funny, and I was like a kid who had never been fishing before, and just had a complete blast. And this came a week after Jeremy and I went to go film a video for Two Brothers Outdoors down on the river that we grew up on. And it was just one of those days where we were catching everything but what we wanted to catch, but we still had a blast. And we kind of tell our story of how we got into fishing in that video. And I'll be editing that one here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll throw it up here on the channel before too long. But Jeremy, what did you think about that particular day? Just being out on the river, because to give Jeremy credit, y'all, he was fishing, but he was kind of scouting for me, staying out of my way, letting me try to get it down, and he was literally my guide on the water. And Jeremy, kind of what did you think about that day?
I felt like a proud coach watching you being that 9-year-old kid again that just caught your first bass. Because, dude, you completely fell apart. I shouldn't give this away, but man, you could just see it. You was 9 years old again, and the excitement and everything. It was, for me as your brother, that was the coolest thing to experience. So it made my day watching you do that. And then we just went and smacked them. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. That's the pureness of fishing.
So Cooler wants to know, are you going to use your autopilot on the river to chase smallmouth? Yeah, you're not going to get me out of it. You'll see in the next video, which I still got to get video from Jeremy, because we just did another trip. Was that day before yesterday? And we had an even better day. As far as number goes, we smacked the crap out of them. We didn't have any monsters, but we smacked the crap out of them. But yeah, my autopilot, Jeremy and I were talking about this because we're going out again in the morning. I won't carry very much tackle, since I'm kind of getting to figure out what I know I can go out and catch them on. I don't carry the like 30 or 40 pounds of soft plastics and this and that. I literally bring a terminal tackle box, a small box with some jigs and other small baits, and then some trailers. And but now I'll give a little bit away in a future video. You guys know I've been working out and getting in better shape. And a lot of this was because last year with Jeremy, Bobby, and Matt and I were out on the river. We actually drug our kayaks up a ripple using our, drag straps, and rug fishing drag straps, by the way. And I was real apprehensive about my knee giving out and me not being physically fit enough to be able to do this. And so I did it once last year, and that charged me up. And that is part of why I've lost like 60 pounds over the last year. And honestly, I know when you're a dude who's almost 350 pounds, seeing 60 pounds lost, you don't notice that much around in this net. But strength wise and fitness wise, and I actually had one of my sons come up and said, damn, dude, that shirt used to like, and now there's room in it. But to kind of tell the tale of the work that I've put in doing yoga and kettlebell workouts this last several months, for an example, Jeremy and I drug our yaks up over, what was it, 3 different sets of ripples this last? List 3. It was 3 or 4. And no, I wasn't even, I was telling Jeremy, I mean, you guys will see this in the video, I wasn't even breathing hard. You know, when I did it this time last year, it was give me a couple minutes. I got to catch my breath. I did 3 separate drags up over a bunch of stuff. And, you know, them kettlebell curls, you know, I'm sitting here one arm just pulling the kayak up over the rocks and everything. But no, I take the autopilot. Now, I say I'm going to build out. I've got this other paddle kayak. I say I'm going to build that out to make it my river yak and put a motor on the back of it and stuff like that, too, so I can paddle and you know, so it's even lighter. But that'll be a goal for next year. I'd like to get a Torpedo or a Newport, probably Torpedo, and put it on the back of that. And then that way it's a lightweight river yak. And that's kind of where I'm heading with that too. But for now, I got the autopilot. I take it out everywhere. If I got to paddle, and you'll see Monday, I lift the motor up and I paddle the hell out of that thing. And we'll get out and drag when we need to too, because right now the water's really low in a lot of places. But nah, dude, I mean, I that autopilot's me. Everywhere I go is where it goes. And keep an eye on Instagram, because making a special trip down south on Wednesday. And we're gonna be, you know, but yeah, Liz loves a good paddling. I think I mentioned.
Oh yeah, there's chat.
yeah, there is a chat.
Yeah. Okay, now I can
see Ryan, I wasn't in shape back then. And honestly, let's be real. I do have to limit what I do because of my knee. And walking is still, you know, I haven't gotten to that point where that's something I'm going to be adding to my exercise routine as I get the weight down. And, you know, I've got my knee brace, but I have to tighten it up. But yeah, somebody asked, yes, getting a trailer. Yes, for those who haven't been, you know, paying attention or watching on Instagram or whatever, new channel partner with the trailer being custom built to my specs. If you've been watching on Instagram, I've made some various posts with this. I need to mute my phone in case somebody dings me. But you know, I've been making some posts and talking about a certain new trailer manufacturer out there, FTK Trailers down in Glen Rose, Texas, which is just south of Dallas Fort Worth. My trailer actually went to paint today. I've actually been sharing some, you know, pictures with Jeremy as the build goes along. It's going to be something else. It's going to be, you know, it's the focus of the specific trailer is for my autopilot, but I've got 2 sets of wings, I'll call them, off to the side for carrying 2 other kayaks. Anybody who's seen my little Malone trailer, and, you know, I need something more durable. Jeremy and I are planning on traveling the country a whole lot more in the future. And so this kayak trailer, we needed something that's going to be built for the trips that we want to take. So, the reveal on that may be as early as Wednesday or Thursday, probably starting with some pictures on Instagram. The videos on it won't get done until I get back from wherever it is I'm going. But we've got some special things set up in a place to go fish for some big fish. You might be saying I'm not even gonna say that. You just have to follow along. I'll post some pics in the community tab and the and Instagram for those who follow along. And again, if you're not following me on Instagram, you kind of get a real head start on a lot of the future videos that are coming. Josh, the Lake Fork was the first target, but as you'll see coming up Wednesday or Thursday, possibly, there's some, we've set in a different place to meet because there's some other stuff and some other people that are going to be checking this thing out. So the guy's concepts for Nick at the, you know, with the trailers, dude's got some innovative thoughts, ideas, his trailers that you drive up on. If you're a motorized guy, you know, you see him with this, I think it's Hobie. He just, you know, pulls it down like he's in a boat and drives up on it. My goal is to be able to walk down on the platform, have my motor already dropped and turned on, push it out into the water, send it off, spot lock it, and then have it come back and get me. And the same thing when I go to bring it back in, push it back out in the water, leave it spot locked, back the trailer about half the way in, drive it on up. And if somebody back in your truck, I can drive it on in, pull myself up and get out, keep feet dry. But for somebody like me, bad knees or whatever, this thing is going to be awesome. I've already got great ideas of how I'm going to shoot the various footage. But I love working with folks that are brand new into something. This guy has been building stuff his entire life, but that's a story for him to tell when the time comes. But he thinks outside the box, and I think he's going to be. I told the poor guy, I said, dude, Nick, I hope you're done fishing because you're not going to have time. You're not going to have time to fish anymore because you're going to be so busy building trailers. So make sure you take some time to take care of yourself and go catch a bunch of those big Texas bass when you get a chance. But FTK trailers. FTK stands for Fish Texas Kayak, and then he just did the trailers off of that too. So it's going to be really cool. But back to Smallie fishing. Jeremy, what do you think about tomorrow? What's your so we've I won't say we've learned. You've been kind of around this stuff for a while, but we've kind of been dialing some stuff in. And before we kind of dive into it, I want to give some shout outs to some of the folks, besides Jeremy, of course, who I've kind of watched and studied and who've really intrigued me about, Smallie fishing. And these guys are all on YouTube. First and foremost, Christine Fisher, one of my favorite anglers, travels around the country. And, I've had a really cool relationship with her. Realistically, because I love her relationship with her and her pa, her grandfather. And that's, for me, what they have is really what I love to build and do the same thing with my three grandbabes. But I utmost respect for Christine. Some of the ones you hear me talking about in the video that's coming out Monday is Jeff Little, who has the Little Stuff YouTube channel. He does a great job of teaching people how to fish, how to kayak, because he gives like professional kayak lessons, safety, things like that. That's still something I need to do, but I watch pretty much everything he puts out. So I have that knowledge in my head. If my kayak flips and I'm in a creek, a river, things like that, because there's a difference between kayaking in a river and a difference in being in a lake or pond. Moving water is something that is completely different and can be dangerous if you're not careful. So Jeff Little does a phenomenal job. But one of the things I love about his content is he follows around a lot of pros and documents their tournament journeys. And a lot of them have been about, chasing smallies. I don't think Jeff really fishes tournaments a lot, but he's a huge supporter of them. He's a rep for Torquedo. And phenomenal channel. So he's another one. And a couple of local guys. Randall Kaiser here in Indiana. He puts up a lot of YouTube videos. He just loves the Smallie fish. The two Everything Outdoors guys up in northern Indiana, I believe they are. A lot of great Smallie content. And of course, John with Creek Fishing Adventures. A lot of great Smallie content. So those are some of my guys that I've watched and kind of absorbed. And there's probably some others. It's just one of those things. Liz says that Caro's conspicuously missing. She's probably out fishing. Maybe she pulled that Bite HD out and then went to go catch some fish today. I'm not sure. But Jeremy, is there anybody that you've been studying? And because I know you watch a lot of YouTube as you're preparing for the trip to Gunnersville and whatnot, but kind of what are some of the channels that you enjoy with some of that?
When it comes to smallies, who I've learned the most for is actually Bobby.
Yeah.
He's the one that kept sending pictures of all those beautiful smallies and double ups. And I'm like, I need in on that.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? You're right, though, too, because he's probably the first one in a while that, really was, talking about that. And that's what really got him into fishing. I mean, when he started coming and hanging out with him, or hanging out with us, we were more schooling him on the largemouth side. Yeah. But, he cut his teeth in this kayak up there on the river chasing these big smallies. And, we went out with him a couple of times last year. John Michael went out and and we went to some places that Bobby showed us, and John Michael caught his first smallie last year based on help that we got from Bobby too. So definitely have to give a shout out to Sandwich Searcher, Bobby, Locks and Lunkers, whatever. But he's Bobby to us. So, but yeah, he was really instrumental in getting us, kind of bit the bug and back at it too.
So, bro,
And then
I got a question. Now that we've played around with it, what's your favorite, in your opinion, your favorite smallmouth bait?
Oh man. Michael Bradley says Ben Nowak. Yeah, I got to him, and I'll get you a second, Jeremy. Ben Nowak and what's my Smallmouth Crush? Two other dudes that yep, definitely. Man, what's my favorite?
I mean, we're just learning about different things, but you've caught some good smallmouth lately, and I was wondering, not necessarily the one you catch the most on, but what's your favorite way to catch them?
I mean, realistically, even though it's not something I throw a ton any other time, the most exciting is like the Chapo, Whopper Plopper, the top water bite. Even though the first big one I caught was on the Hellraiser last year at Kentucky Lake, I have to say, after our last few outings, the Chapo, Plopper, whatever you want to call it, anything top water. Well, I don't even want to talk about, when they see the thumbnail of my next video, that's literally that. Yeah. I mean, the most exciting for me has got to be like the Chapo, the Whopper Plopper, just because that violent smash up on the top. Favorite way, man, I've got several now. I've got 4 baits that I'm going to start with tomorrow. You want me to go ahead and start with those?
Yeah, I'd like to know what you're going to throw.
Okay, so since we're bringing John Michael tomorrow, his favorite bait to throw ever is a spinner bait. So he's going to have a spinner bait tied on, and then he's going to have a Chapo tied on. So since he's got a Chapo tied on, for my early topwater, I'm going to start with the Hellraiser again. And if that doesn't work, I'll jump to a buzz bait. And if John Michael's killing us all with the Chapo, then obviously I'll have one of those in the back burner as well. But I want to kind of use tomorrow is to kind of expand my learning again. And I'm gonna start with the Hellraiser and then go to a buzz bait and then go to a Chapo if that just is the thing. Because I wish I had all these videos. Just like I wish I had an editor where I could just say, in tomorrow's video we're gonna do this, and then the video that comes out right after that we're gonna but so when the top water, I'm gonna also have I'm gonna go back with the Thunder Cricket. The last time that we went out, I was throwing a jackhammer with a little bit different trailer. This time I'm gonna go back to the Thunder Cricket with the big bite bait swim on. This is actually the combo that caught me that 18 and a half. The first time we went out this year. So I'm going to see if they, differentiate between like the white and, like the more bluegilly kind of like patterns. Depending on the water clarity, it was a little bit more stained the last time we went. I'm also going to have a Strike King tungsten jig, like a little finesse jig with the, I need to trim the skirt on this one while I'm looking at it because I just took this one out of the box with a Strike King Scourge Bug. It's been really good this year. Definitely got to trim that skirt up. And then the good old Whack-A-Wig Senko. It's, and I see, I'm trying not to give stuff away from if a bass misses your topwater, it's always good to follow up with the Senko, and this follows largemouth and smallies. So if you miss, if a bass misses your buzz bait or Chapo or whatever, you drop a worm right back in there in that ripple, and you got a good chance of catching them, and that will be demonstrated very soon.
So we will get to see that. We'll get to see that in action, is what you're saying?
Yeah, very, very, very well could be. Could be a big one. Yeah, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Some of the other ones that we've been playing with, and this tip came from Randall Kaiser. He had in the afternoons when the bite just like died. He was telling me one of the things he's had success with are small, like 2.5, 2 3/4 inch paddle tails. So another lesson learned when it kind of happened to us this last weekend, perhaps that came into play a whole lot. So that will be one that I have as a if they're not really hitting the thunder cricket, I'll go test that out some more.
Right.
And then obviously it's not Gramps if we're not talking about throwing a stupid tube. I love when the sun gets up overhead. And of course, when you're on a river or creek, there's always those overhanging limbs and whatnot, create those shade pockets because Bobby taught us anything. What was it? Shade, current, and something else. Damn it, Bobby. What was the third thing? I know it was shade, current, and something. That was the biggest Smallie tip that I ever got was shade, current, something. Damn it. I got to figure it out because now I don't remember. I had it. I should have wrote it down. But that was the first lesson that Bobby ever taught us. Was those three things, and two of the three that I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the third one
was? Depth the third one?
Maybe it was something like that. But for me, the stupid tube, I can skip that thing anywhere, and so I like a bluegill colored tube. And I've recently started working with Secret Lures, and they're the ones who, with Terry McWilliams, who basically coined the term stupid tube. And this was back like 25 years ago. So, working with the guys at Secret Lures, their plastic is so soft. It really lets the bass grab that and get a hook into them. Some tubes, they're almost made a little bit too stiff, so that if they grab them and it pulls and it bunches down around the hook. Secret Lures, they still hand dip their own, and the material is so pliable and soft that you just get a hook into them. So I love those because I'll skip them up under anything. So if they're up in the skinny water, up in the shade, I love being able to skip a stupid tube in there. So those are, as far as my Smallie knowledge goes, that's kind of where I'm at right now. As I learn, there's a lot of people that throw a lot of other baits, but these are my go-tos, and I'll expand kind of a little bit, when the time comes.
I was just curious what you was going to be throwing and what you've been enjoying, because this is all just a lot more learning for us.
Oh yeah. So what's your starting lineup look like tomorrow?
Well, we'll start with the secret sauce. So I'm going to share with y'all, because I doubt there's any other smallmouth fisherman out there that throws this, but I guarantee it works.
Wait, before you reveal it, everybody who knows Jeremy, drop your comments of what you think it could possibly be that's his secret sauce for catching smallies. I'm just kind of curious as to how many can guess what Jeremy might be throwing. Just to say. I don't see a single one yet. They're afraid to say it because it's like, no, it can't be. It can't be true. But anybody who knows Jeremy, what he caught his PB, what's your new smallmouth PB as of this year, Jeremy? What was it?
20 1/4.
False knows. Jeremy, why don't you go?
I caught that 20 1/4 on a 7-inch blue fleck power worm. However, this is the newest thing I've learned. So you take a blue fleck power worm and you cut about 1 1/4 inches off just so the hook will go right into the egg sac. And that was just absolutely slamming them on the river the other day. That will be tied on. And then I have a bluegill pattern thunder cricket.
Yep.
That's what I was throwing last week. I'm actually going to start with a bigger profile.
Yeah.
Go with a full size chatterbait with a Zaco on the back to see if I can get a bigger fish.
Now, are you doing a white? You doing specific color? What are you thinking?
It's a bluegill pattern with
Okay.
the green pumpkin white mix Zaco on it.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That two-tone, because the water, like you said, was a little bit dingy compared to when we was there last time, so a little more depth to it. And then I'm gonna throw a popping frog. I know that's kind of weird, but I noticed a lot of matted up scum and places where I could work the edges of it.
Yeah.
And I caught several right off the edges on chatterbait. So I thought, for my top water, I'll go with a popping frog and then switch to a whopper plopper.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to keep it simple tomorrow. I was thinking about drop shotting. Well, I am going to throw an underspin.
Yeah.
Just because I've got confidence in the Damiki rig. Now I want to just, see if I can get a different size bite with the underspin. Because we got to catch some bigger ones too. That's part of the game.
Yep. Yeah, and I know, and see, that's you know how it is too, and it's a lot of it's about confidence and things to try. It's like, one of the things I've got kind of rigged and ready is a Ned, but it's the big TRD. A lot of people will throw like the TRD crawls on these for a small, and if the fish are super picky, I've got them, I've got some in the tackle box, just in case. But I'm going to start out with a little bit bigger profile with this, scourge bug from Strike King. But it's funny because, a lot of people, Bobby throws, it's like he lives off a wacky rig. He'll throw a Ned rig religiously, and he'll have just like the regular, ticklers or TRDs. It seems like every time I throw a Ned, it's just lost in the rocks. I mean, because if we've learned anything about Smallie fishing is find rock, find current, find rock, find the Smallies. I mean, that's just, we will skip bank and anything else forever to go find rock. And in, the summertime, especially with the heat, still getting up to this, in the 90s, you want to find those deeper pools in the middle of the day. They seem to be chasing everything in the skinny water before the sun really gets up. But once the sun kind of gets up and overhead, they're in the shade, or it seems like they're in the pools. And again, this is just stuff that we're learning. We're by no means, but I went from the first time out to only catching like 2 fish to the last couple of times out. I mean, we just been, and it's been like in the mid 90-degree days murdering us. But I would rather get murdered on a creek or river right now, slaying Smallies, than what I went through the week before last on a Friday when it was 97 on the water from 6 a.m. till sundown and catching 1 fish. I'm like flipping the bird to the largemouth going, I'm chasing Smallies. I'm done with this crap, because it was a pain. Now, other people, Sam Jones caught 105 inches of largemouth. That's a 21 and a bunch of 20s. That's a couple of 21s. Smacking them. Yeah. So Frank is saying, don't forget to throw at the undercut banks. Good tip. Definitely have to take care. Look at that too. And again, we went to a place we'd never been before, but we're going to go back there because we got a little bit of knowledge. And I think this time we're actually, since we kind of know where we're going and how far we went, we'll probably drag up over one of the ripples that we found. And I caught a nice 13 and a half. We'll probably drag up past that and continue up the river and, just make a day of it. Now that we've been to this spot once, we kind of know the ramp and, what we learned last time. And so we'll just keep heading up and seeing what we can find too. But it should be a really good time.
We know there are good fish in that stretch.
Yeah, because some other people, we watched that tournament that I fished that weekend, and I think my biggest was like 17. I mean, I had a great day. I finished with I finished with like 74 inches, but you know, the few 16 and the 17 I caught is just freaking phenomenal. But it was just a great day. But I'm telling you, I mean, watching them just demolish a whopper plopper, or choppo, whatever you want to call it, it was just completely incredible. And we were hooked too. But I kind of wanted to show you guys. This is what kind of got us into it. He explored all, Gramps, just like a 9-year-old kid. Oh yeah, that's definitely us. I mean, and then after this last weekend, I can't wait to get back from my trip and continue editing those videos. Oh my goodness. I mean, the other day was just phenomenal. I mean, we just had a blast. And you know, Jeremy and I were talking about this and that. And then my son calls. He's like, "Hey, I'm off on, you know, my regular days off are Monday and Tuesdays." He's like, "You know, Dad, you should take off Monday and we just go fishing." I'm like, "Son, Monday's a federal holiday. Gramps is already off." Said, "Me and Jeremy were talking about going fishing somewhere, but you want to go hit the creek?" And he's like, "Oh, hell yeah." So, yep, he changed me and Jeremy's plans around, and we had no problem getting ready for tomorrow.
Let's go.
So, yep, let's go. So that's kind of what prompted our, you know, our live tonight too. But you know, we knew we haven't been live as much. You know, it is fishing season, and it's going to get real busy here real soon. You know, Jeremy and I both qualified for the KBF Challenge Series Championship. And then we also found out, due to our qualifications in the top 100 of last year's national championship, well, you know, Jeremy, what did we find out about, you know, with our finish there? Kind of what did that lead for us?
We also qualified for the Invitational. So JT and I will be fishing both the Challenge National Championship as well as the Invitational, trying to win and earn our spot into the 10 house.
So that's really cool to us because our friend and teammate from last year's, when we went to national championship, one of our teammates, Glenn Landstrom,
Mr. Lucky Glenn Landstrom.
My God, I should steal that video of his and make a short out of it.
He will forever be known as Lucky Glenn Landstrom from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, so he had a video, you know, last month or whatever, where he caught this fish and the fish jumped. You know, he just got it laying across his lap. Now this is a pro, travels all over the country, fishes like he's just got this big fish. He's got his catch board across his knees, you know. This fish jumps, flips around. He loses his phone and he swipes down with his other hand, catches his phone and the fish at the same time, smacking them against the board, and didn't lose either one in the water. I would have lost the catch board, the fish, and my phone.
Yep.
And then today, he posted a video. He had caught a fish, his second biggest fish of the day, and he was measuring it, and he had taken the bait out of the mouth, threw it back in the water, set his rod off to the side. He's taken his photo. He's like, okay, good. He drops the fish back in the water. He's entering his stuff, and his rod goes, and then he's like, oh, it didn't move. He thought he might have hit something. And then he goes again, and he grabs it before it gets pulled in the water. 19.5-inch smallmouth bass.
Huge.
Lucky.
It was huge.
Lucky Glenn Landstrom. So anywho, beginning of that whole story, Glenn was fishing the Invitational last year, which you have to be in to even qualify for this, you have to finish in the top 10% of a KBF event, or I can't remember all the various qualifications, but one of the other ones they have is if you finish in the top 100 of the national championship. So if you win the Invitational, which goes on alongside of the Challenge Series Championship and the Trail Championship, if you win the Invitational, you steal a spot into the 10 house with the top 10 anglers in KBF. And Glenn did this last year. And the cool thing is, if you make it into the Invitational, you get to stay in the big house with all the other hammers. They have this huge prize pack. There's no entry fee for that one. So if you get in, and then every competitor, the last placed gets $1,000 and then it pays up from there. So just getting into that alone basically paid for your whole entry fees for all your season. So it's a really cool opportunity because, you know, hey, who knows? You could go to one of these tournaments and have the best day of your life. Yeah, why not? You know, I never have expectations of doing all this, but what if I go get lucky and catch big bass? You know, you can walk away with like $1,000. I love to go try to film and meet cool people and all that stuff. For us, it's really exciting. Ryan asked if we're going to be at the national championship in April. Yes, that is the goal. But first things first are these two championships, then obviously the knucklehead bass fishing on Veterans Day, and then the NC the following April there at Gunnersville. So, yep, that's kind of the schedule of things to come. But, you know, for now, we're just taking it a day at a time and having fun. Next year, you know, if Jeremy's arm is still in decent enough shape and he can still do the tournament stuff, then yeah, the NC is in our thoughts, and you know, it's part of our plans. But right now, the focus is doing as good as we can in these things while his arm is still in as I can't say good shape, while it's still usable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the goal is to swing for the fences now. And then if Jeremy's arm is good next, you know, April, you know, we'll probably go do it again because that's the plans, you know, good Lord willing. And if not, we're going to become wreck anglers and just have a damn good time and go fishing everywhere we can. Yep. We still would like to go do, you know, Jeremy still wants to, you know, especially go when we're going to go try to do a Bassmaster event. And if he's out there fishing one armed, he going to figure it out. He'll be like the dude with no arms. He's going to make it work.
I got it figured out.
Yeah, we'll work it, you know. I'll be going either way, you know, and then, you know, Jeremy and I will make do with whatever we can, the best we can, because, you know, we're always going to support KBF and whatever they do, but we're both also Bassmaster Life members, and we want to go play, you know, if anything, just to go be a part of that event too, you know. I never have grand illusions of winning that kind of stuff, but it's still fun just to go be part of that. You know, just to go be part of the experience. I mean, that's what life's all about.
It's fun to dream, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
It doesn't cost us anything, and who knows? Maybe we get there one day.
Yeah, I mean, how awesome would that be? This jig is just driving me nuts because I haven't trimmed it up yet. So I'm going to sit here and
finesse jig that's not really finessey.
Yeah, it's like super skirt, and it's just driving me insane. It's like I want to tie this on. But you know, it's just one of those things too. So, you know, we're both gearing up and getting our stuff ready to go on these, you know, various tournaments and stuff. But in the meantime, I'm still testing out these monster bass rods, which again, they teamed up with the guy at Doomsday Tackle, and for $120 rod, this thing is a hell of a value. And I've taken it out. I've got 5 of them. The one that's staying home tomorrow was the frog rod. Yes, I know you're all disappointed, but I don't need a heavy when I'm fishing the river tomorrow. So, but we'll be throwing it in. You know, Jeremy and I signed up again for the KBF monthly for September because why not? It's just another good opportunity to earn some more points because why not? And you know, we have fun doing it. So I'm gonna go throw a frog some more. Everybody probably saw my last video where I caught my first Indiana frog. Wasn't a tank, but hey, they're out there. So, you know, well, you know, we might, you know, have to pull it out and do some work too. So we'll see. But I've been enjoying checking those out. But, you know, we wanted to have a live. Oh, that reminds me. For the last couple of giveaways, I have not been to the post office. I set all this stuff aside. I've been so busy working this stuff out with this trip that I've got coming up with the trailer and oh, you want to know where they actually do this what I prefer on a kayak. The hook keepers are right here. And because I fish with the black pack, I want those up above and outside of the rod holders. Yeah. And so they're up here and they're the U thing. See if I can show this. Yeah, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
And that's where I want it, because I can hook anything there. Not a
Drop
split
shot.
shot, a drop shot, everything. You know, I can hook a jig, I can hook a Texas rig in the bend of the hook and all that too. So they actually did it. And one of the things I'll give you a little preview. One of the things that I just love more than anything is this reel nut, because it's smooth. It's the same type as on my Dobbins DX 702 that I love to use to skip my tubes. This is my favorite nut. That one's for Liz. Yeah, it is super matchy. You can see that the Mock Crush pairs with these rods so beautifully. So, yep.
So am I ever going to get to try those, or do I just need to call Rafi and be like, bro, I need some rods?
I'm going to leave them with you tomorrow when we get done.
I was going to say, because this has been a plan for like a couple of weeks now, and you're like, oh, I'm going to try the lunker sticks today.
I want to, the goal was to sit down and do my wrap up video and then have them to you, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to shoot the footage tomorrow, and then I'm going to leave you the Mock Crush reel and the spinning reel. Since I'm just going to leave you both of these Mock Crush, since they're matchy.
Right.
And then you could put your reels on the Frog Rod and the two others based on how you want to test them. And then, I'll get your footage of your testing during the September, especially while I'm gone next week and so forth.
Right.
So that way you can fish and beat the living snot out of them, throw the frogs, throw the chatterbaits, throw the worm, all of it. And then we'll get your opinions, and then we'll do a full breakdown review video. But I'm telling you guys right now, for $120, and I'll throw it out there, you can save another 20% off of everything on Monster Bass now with Gramps 20. Rick and Rafi set that up, and that basically covers like the shipping on the rods. Doomsday Tackle did a phenomenal job. But Jeremy, I want you to do yours. Do your, unbiased opinions. Jeremy's thrown Loomis pretty much exclusively for the last 20 some years. So I'm going to be really, I'm not going to compare a Monster Bass stick with the Loomis, but I want Jeremy to give his honest opinion and what he thinks about it, kind of stepping back from some of the best stuff that there is on the planet, and and doing that too. But
I want to try I'm actually going to try with the Frog Rod, a medium punch rig.
Yeah.
I want a rod that's stiff enough, but I don't want to throw a heavy punch rig. I want that medium, like 1/2 to 3/4 ounce.
Yep.
And I think that's going to pair up nicely from what you've said.
Yep. So I'm going to leave you with these tomorrow when we get done. I'm going to answer Jason's question, and the answer is yes, most likely. We will definitely. We talked about, I can't remember what schedule we had going on, but we talked about the Fallen Outdoors tournament this year. But we will definitely be in my boat on that tournament next year. Hopefully they don't, if it doesn't coincide with the national championship, we should be good to go. So, of course. What did you catch on Monroe, Frank? I've caught some of the best fish in the state on Monroe, and I've had days where I've had more bad days than good days on Monroe. But some of the best days I've ever had were on Monroe too. But I told Jeremy I am going to make it a point this next season, and we've discussed this, that because it's the closest lake to me, and it's the one I hate more than anything. And he knows I'm lying, and I'm not going to go there. Even though
I'm going to learn it. This year, I'm going to learn it. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, Monroe is 30 minutes from me, and I would rather drive 90 minutes anywhere else to go fish than Monroe. But I'm going to start. To be fair, Jeremy, where was I going tomorrow until John Michael called and gave me an excuse not to go?
Well,
Okay,
you
we know
said
I was going to go to we
you
know I was
said
going to go to Greene
Monroe.
County.
Yeah, you said Monroe, but you was going to Greene County and then going to Lake X. You
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
fooling me. I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, he caught a 20 on Lake Monroe and doesn't know it. Oh,
Yeah.
he's not at Lake Monroe. Got a
Oh,
buck.
I hate that lake. Oh, I hate that lake, but I got to do it. You would rather go to Patoka than Monroe? I don't like Patoka either. I get stuck on stumps when I go. But I've caught, to be fair, I've caught a lot of, my PB came out of Monroe back in 1998, my Indiana PB. That was 6.7 something pounds, back when I was in the clubs fishing. And then my first 20 on a catch board actually came in at Patoka, there off of that bridge that I put in at. Josh probably knows where I'm talking about. And that's probably where I'll fish again when I go down there for the Grubby Championship in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whenever it is. It's the 7th and 8th of October, I think. So my one trip to Patoka this year will be during the Grubby Championship, because I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to go down there and pre-fish. It just ain't going to happen. I will probably just go where I know, or I'll go someplace completely different and just not care. But, it's
I
just one
may
of those
come
things.
down and just go fishing with you while you're fishing the tournament, bro.
Yeah, Josh says Kings Bridge. That's the one. I will fish the riprap around Kings Bridge pretty much the whole day. Because last time I got stuck and I had to have a father and son pull me off a stump and save my bacon. Because, but I'm definitely not going exploring like I did last year. I will stay with what I know and not get out of the channel again. But that's probably what I'll do is I'll spend 2 days going to the same place so I can once again catch one fish each day. But hey, that's half the fun, but it's what I know. So Josh, now that you've got a kayak, if you've got some place that you want to school me on, I would be willing to come down and get an education. Don't get me wrong. Oh my goodness, silliness. So the Smallies, they've been a thing. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. But
Yeah, I'm
and Bob
waiting.
just and since Mr. Bob Stevens, brought up the topic, why no, we haven't. But that's the next segment of the show.
I'm grabbing the water real quick.
All right, go ahead. Now we'll go ahead and take a drink out of the old Freedom Squad. Yes, I'm drinking water too. Yeah, Smallies do hit like a freight train. I'm telling you, I mean, I can't wait for you guys to see this video tomorrow night. The day started so good and so fast, and it just kept getting better and better the more the day went on. And it was really cool. But yeah, good times. But all right, so we got this box in from Brown Bait Co. I'm sure.
Good old Mr. Brendan. I've been excited. I was actually in one of the lives when he was working on these. So,
oh, were you real? Okay, cool. I actually popped in. I think it was earlier today. He was live, and so we got the box. It says, "Thanks, JG and Jeremy, Brendan." And I want to first thank Brendan for sending this to us. These are gifts for both Jeremy and I. And what do you think? Should we throw some tomorrow? Well, I'll show them to you. And you tell me.
yeah, I was going to say.
He sent us each a sticker.
Well, you know where those will go. Yep.
We know we love some stickers. Oh, speaking of which, I'm going to backpedal 1 second. And because I did get some stickers in for Mr. Sly Fox Fishing as well. I got to remember to bring you some of these tomorrow too. So I'm going to set both of those sets of stickers together. Oh, wait. We got more stickers. Love me some stickers.
I do love me some stickers. And
All
remind
right,
me
so
to come back and answer this question on opinion on ribbon-tail worms.
Yep, sure will. All right, so, Do you want to see the bait that he's known the most for, or do you want to see like the little hand-carved cranking
I want to
stuff
see
first?
it all, so you just go ahead and pick one and we'll take a look at it.
We're gonna start with the big one that he's known for, And because we all know he loves these big monster baits. So I will get this up here in the light.
Oh my goodness.
Look at
Okay.
that gorgeous.
So if you're not throwing that tomorrow, I will be.
I don't even know if I want to throw it. It's so beautiful.
I want to get fish catches so that we can show all the viewers how great these baits are. They're not just pretty, they're tools. Because
But is
yes,
this
that
something we
is,
want? Is this something we want to throw in a creek versus a bigger lake?
dude, that one stretch where you caught those bigger fish, you had said something about throwing a trace. Why would you throw a trace and not that? Same.
Okay, let me pause. You know where I'm going next week.
Don't take it down there and lose it with a 10-younder.
Would you rather I did that versus lose it in a creek?
Okay, so let me throw them so we don't lose them. I got you.
I'm just saying. Should I take this with me where I'm going next week?
Yeah.
So that thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, it was.
And then he also threw in some of our. You remember fishing with these when we were kids?
Yep.
I'm going to assume he poured these, but these remind me of the Zoom split tails that we both,
I used those on spinner baits for all the years that I threw spinner baits.
Yeah. JL Wall says Gramps will find all the stumps with that. Yeah. Yeah. This bait, this is a bait that I would need to throw at Brush Creek. And you know exactly where I'm talking about down by those rocks. This is where I'd probably catch a monster.
And I'm thinking, man, a 20-inch Smallie would come up and slurp that.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, so I'll start with the first crankbait, and it's the smaller of the two.
Ooh.
And I believe these are the ones that he carves out of, is it balsa?
Okay.
I wish he was in here.
Yeah.
And if I'd have been paying attention, I should have invited him to the live and to tell us about these baits. And we may need to do that. But you know what? He's on vacation this week. No, he was back because he was live from his shop earlier today. I know he had been on vacation. Now, this one I know you'll want to throw tomorrow just because of the color.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That paint job is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm excited to throw these, and I think you're right. Both of those right there in some of those coming off the lip into the deeper pools.
Yep.
Yeah, those, yeah.
So we need to pull, if you don't have any treble hooks, because he ships his without them.
Right.
We need to get some, and actually I should have some up there because I've got my treble hook. I got my treble hook pliers up there. So you want me to bring the cranks tomorrow?
Yeah, bring those, and you can take the other one on your special secret mission.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. But man, Brendan, I can't thank you enough. Yeah, there's Mr. Gambit. He knows about the whole swim. Yeah, 100%. And and one thing I will do, because I want to ask him, and Mr. Gambit, you can throw this in the comments. What rod? And I know you like that 8-foot whatever, but tell me what action and what kind of line and stuff like that. So tell me your rod, and I don't have an 8-foot anything, but I've got like a frog rod or stuff like that too. So Mr. Gambit, tell me what rig you're throwing this style of bait on. I'm going to say this is 6 inches. I could say it's 8, but there's more bait for Liz. Tell me what kind, and I'm going to keep this one. This is going to go on the special trip. And obviously I'm not going to, Jeremy, if I get into that grass, heavy grass, I won't, I'll save it. Right. But if depending on where we go, like if I go to the 25-pound big game is all Brendan uses. Okay.
Thank you, Liz.
I got 30-pound big game. Liz says it looks like 4 inches to me. Yeah, there you go. This is where the live gets demonetized again. that happened with the last one with Chad. 20's even better. Okay. Sevco 202 factory line. Yeah, there we go. Gamakatsu brown bend. Okay. I got you. I'm going back and looking at the comments just to. Yeah, sweet. Josh says he has this SLX 7.3 rated for ounce and ounce, and it's only. Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, Brennan again, dude. That's really cool. I've still got the crankbaits that Debo sent me that they're still in the package. I don't mean to it's just like, so Cooler Lid's saying 17 pounds for the cranks. Yeah, I got a crankbait set. Actually, I need to line my crankbait rod. No, I've actually got my I never throw heavy line for crankbaits. I throw 12 or 15 pound Seagar and Vizix. I throw every crankbait on that. I throw every chatterbait on that. So Bob is saying 30-pound big game is what he uses for the big. Is that a glide bait? Is that what that is? I never knew the difference between glide and what are the jointed ones, Jeremy? Mike says 3 casts and I'll have it in a tree. That's where I send the old whopper ploppers all the damn time. I am a tree magnet. Yeah, most definitely. Shoot, yeah. So yeah, we'll get some trebles put on those and see if we can't catch some smallies on them tomorrow. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, I was reading the comments again.
Yeah, same here. I get distracted. It's already 8:02. But
yeah, and I got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. We did say we had to shut it down at 8. Jeremy's got to take his meds because when we get up, he has to get up at 4. So we do need to kind of shut this down and get. I've still got a lot of work to get prepped for tomorrow. Jeremy's already ready to go, but he's going to go take his sleepy time stuff and get his beauty sleep so that he can be up in exactly 8 hours and heading that way too. So. Yeah, I'll be getting up about 4:30 as well, so I can get up there and meet those guys at the boat ramp and all that. Here's Gran looking at me like, "Oh, I didn't make the hummingbird water." And I just got buzzed. And the hummingbirds are buzzing my wife, so they took your hair. They steal her hair for their nest. I don't know why. I don't know. But we got to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Bro, can't wait to see you in the morning. We're going to have some fun. Honestly, dude, we've been having a blast. I can't wait to get some video of John Michael on the water. Just with what we know, I get the feeling that he could potentially break his PB too, because his PB was like a 12 or 13 incher, so we had a good chance at doing that. But again, thank you all for joining in. Keep an eye out in the community tab this week. Watch tomorrow night's video. This one will be one that you want to probably put up on the TV, kick back, and enjoy. It's 20 good minutes. It was up to 30, but I cut it down to 20 to make it not too awful long. But this one you'll enjoy. And then the one we have following up after that, where Jeremy and I went out and fished on the White River and then down in where we grew up. And then the White River again, where we just laid the smack down on them. It'll be another week or two before those are up because I'll be out of town this coming week. But stay tuned. Everybody have a safe Labor Day weekend. Watch out for all the boat traffic out there. Everybody's going to be trying to get their boats out, have their wives at the boat ramp. Everybody's going to be pissed off. It's just going to be so if you can't avoid any major lake, the boat ramp crap is just going to be a nightmare. So stay safe, stay away. You wear your sun protection, and everybody get out there. Jeremy, tell everybody good night.
Thank you. Good night.
And as always, get outside when you can and make some memories because we're going through tomorrow, one cast at a time.